guys, and welcome to Fireside Chat with the Johnstons. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Justin.
And we are excited to be here today with you for part 2 of our discussion.
Deuces.
I've been saying for a really long time that cheer gyms are just not unicorn businesses. And in this episode, I will eat my words.
I was feeding you.
You were feeding me. Thank you.
That was like a sandwich.
So if you're on YouTube, you saw that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the unique freedom that all-star cheer gyms have in comparison to the other 8 businesses that we have run over the last 14 years.
Yeah. Creativity.
All right. So let's get into
is
it.
King.
Do you want to say let's get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how cheer gyms have such minimal restrictions, both from the government, from your local entities, and honestly, we're very independent of a lot of external factors.
Sure.
Your limitation is your own imagination or your own network of imagination.
Yeah, your creativity and what you will allow.
Mm-hmm.
It really, and it really comes down to your experience with stuff. Like, I don't know if an after-school program will work because I've never done one before.
Yeah.
If you got Danielle in there, she'd be like, do it tomorrow.
Do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do it tomorrow, but here's how to do it right.
Yeah. And there's a process to it. Do you start right away with one? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get fundamentals fixed first. Let's make sure those are running
right.
Incredible. But we're going to add on.
And there's legal side of it.
Yeah.
Right? Here, I think this is why cheer gyms are so cool in the sense that, let me tell you, in 2020, all of the childcare programs had closed down. Mm-hmm. So our local community center that is taxpayer funded runs the summer camp that everyone used to go to. Mm-hmm. We used to have the school program that they ran a summer program. And it wasn't just summer school, it was like summer camp. Mm-hmm. Those were the two. They were government run agencies. They just weren't operating in 2020. It was in their mind, it was too risky. And there were higher powers that were governing them. Whereas we were a small independent business, we were able to be a little bit different in that our county allowed sports and fitness to open a little bit sooner. They allowed childcare facilities to open sooner, but the government-run agencies chose not to. So essentially, in the course of 6 days, we were like, so we're going to run full-day summer camp. We've always wanted to. We didn't think we'd be able to because these other programs are always around. And we're going to run full-day summer camp. And so we decided to do that. Lexi went from, she had been hired right before COVID hit. She had been hired as an event coordinator, and she suddenly became the summer camp director. We had to go through the temporary licensing process, and then from there, basically create 13 weeks of, we weren't sure how many weeks it was going to be, but it turned out to be 13 weeks of summer camp. All of that came out of the resilience of I don't know when these kids are coming back to tumbling. I don't know if we're even going to have a cheer season. We better come up with something.
Yep. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
you go out of business. If you're not creative and you're not out there pushing, you're going to go out of business. If you're not continuing to fine tune, refresh, make better.
Here's the cool part. I feel like I'm creative, but I'm also very logistics driven. And so I'm not the most creative person in the room ever. I didn't have to be. Samantha, who's the head coach of the Next Gen Academy, already had a summer program running. I literally asked her for her documents, took everything, adapted them for my program, and started. Rihanna already had a childcare program in previous years. And so though she wasn't able to open for it that year, we were able to take her lesson plans and adapt them. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening to this thinking, I am just not a creative person, that's okay. You just have to be smart enough to find a creative person who understands what you're going through.
And how do you do that? You hang out with people that are creative, that are smart, that have great businesses. Do you hang out with people that are unsuccessful and do nothing? You will become that.
Yeah.
But if you're hanging out with people that are successful and are creative and are doing things, it's going to bleed over on you. And you're going to be like, why am I not doing this? Look at this person. If I do X, Y, Z, I could have this result.
Right. So other businesses definitely have limiting factors that we don't experience in cheer.
Yep.
Shipping tariffs. I don't even know if that's like shipping costs and tariffs. Those are both going to become big limiting factors for a
Yeah.
lot of businesses. Like, I sound so dumb, but like bird flu. Like, I bet
Yeah.
the cost of chicken's going to
Cost of
skyrocket.
chicken's going to go up. Yeah. I don't have to worry about bacon costs and prices.
Right.
And yeah.
If Amazon ever figures out how to restock things that get returned to them, like, that business would go out of business.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of limiting factors that rely on other people and other business to business kind of relationships when you're in the majority of these.
Yeah.
Right? Cheer, not so much.
Well, I know one.
Okay.
How about inflation with rent?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But would you not experience that in every type of business?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you have a facility that you have to rent, obviously, right. Yeah.
So even the increasing cost of rent is something that restaurants are dealing with, retail is dealing with. I mean, office space, anybody who doesn't work from home and operate their business out of their home. And guess what? Even your home is increasing because I know our property taxes and insurance have gone up every year.
Then yeah. Insurance is probably going to kill a lot of people on that.
Yeah.
So here's probably the biggest one, labor.
Yeah.
Labor costs, because that's one product that we have a lot of. Usually in a cheer gym you have to have people teaching.
And that is is your product.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that Utah is still at $7.45 an hour on minimum wage?
Oh, really?
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
We were looking at that this morning.
Yeah.
You know, the majority of states right now, I would say, are above $10 an hour. If you're over in the Pacific Northwest or in New York or New Jersey area, you're thinking, oh man, $10 is nothing.
Yeah.
There's places as high as $15, $16 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But we dealt with that in our restaurant. We dealt with that in, our wholesale company. We deal with that in a website company. You deal with that in every business.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons you're starting to see like McDonald's and some other places that are going to less people working in there,
more
automated, which I don't know if I'm happy with all that. Yeah.
No,
I like good customer service, and those TV screens are not customer friendly.
I know, and they're always grimy.
And they talk about how gross they are. Yeah. But anyways.
But I kind of understand why they are, because when we own the restaurant, like, your labor cost has to be very tight.
There's nowhere to cut.
Yeah.
Except for labor.
Yeah.
Like, you can't cut food out.
Cut food.
You can't cut rent. The type of food. You still got to get chicken.
Can't cut utilities.
Yeah.
Marketing, even, like, that's fine if you cut marketing, but boy, we always saw a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, you cut marketing today, and in 30 to 60 days, you're going to see a dip.
And it's not like you can, hey, I'm going to add a new food that has a better, you're not doing that has a better margin on it. You're not doing that.
And it wasn't, maybe the wholesale business, I would say, because people are super impulsive buyers, as we saw with some of your recent purchases through there. But for the most part, you're not walking in a restaurant. You might upgrade to a combo for $2.80 or whatever, but you're not walking in a restaurant and buying 3 times the amount of food that you actually needed. Right? It's just not that type of business. Whereas you might have a budget of $150 or $200 to host your kid's birthday party, and as soon as you see all the great packages, you're now going to spend $500 or $600 because you want them to have the best birthday party.
You're paying for an experience.
We just really hadn't had those options with other businesses.
Yeah.
As you're talking about that, really the 2 big things that create limitations for gyms become the cost of labor and the cost of rent or mortgage, insurance kind of thing.
Yeah. Utilities are usually pretty standard. They have gone up also, but not as substantially as rent and labor.
But you're dealing with the exact same things that every other business is dealing with. What you're not dealing with is that unknown factor of, are you going to be out of bacon next week? Are you going to have these new shipping tariffs? I keep saying that, but like shipping costs and tariffs that impact your ability to get goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that...
Or diseases and everything else that goes along with the animals and all that stuff,
For sure.
Yeah.
So, what a unique business in the sense that there's so few limiting factors.
On top of all that, people are more willing to cut out food, going to eat out and going to Starbucks as much to provide for their kids. And so if they see that their kids are happy and they enjoy what they're doing in your gym, they're far more willing to continue paying for that and cutting out some other things. We have known people that had trouble paying their electric bill, and their water bills, but still had their kids doing cheer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh man, I love what you're doing, but you probably shouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted their kids to have what they couldn't have. And that was, yeah.
Okay, so as we're thinking about building this level of creativity, how do you do it?
What's the secret?
How do you just get more creative so that you have a more resilient program?
Brainstorming.
Yeah, we've got to think outside the box.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you will hear gym owners say things and you're like, I don't know, that's pretty weird, a pink pajama party. Things like that you're like, I don't think this would work for me. Guys, nobody will tell you better than Dan, listen to the CheerBiz podcast, that he thought for years rec classes and birthday parties would never be a thing in his gym.
Yep. Hardcore all-star
All-star.
cheer. Yep, all-star.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Strong Worlds program, strong, you know, like his level 4 is like amazing. And today, Dan is in his, you know, he's moving into a new facility.
Oh, what?
And he's,
Say what?
yeah, and he's
Why?
going to start a preschool.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine 10 years ago saying to Dan, like, Dan, one day you're going to start a preschool.
But it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at all the opportunities in a gym, it makes sense. I mean, not only that, but I think the walkthrough on his new facility he's looking at, so he just signed into, even had a birthday room,
Mm-hmm.
has a birthday room. Yeah.
And I think you have to have some sort of mentorship, though, because, you know, for years we looked at a preschool, and I'm here to tell you it will not work where we are because they have full day preschools for free through the school district now.
Yeah.
And you know, if I didn't read, literally I read a newspaper sometimes because I enjoy it still.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that the school district has approved the rental of this huge building, an old grocery store building, so that they can expand preschool programs. Like, imagine if I didn't know to look for things like that in my community, and all of a sudden I invested, you know, $45,000 into a full-time preschool director, which is probably more than that actually, and new facility and stuff like that to run a preschool, just to find out that people can get it for free.
Yeah.
Full day. And so things, you know, that you have to look for that will not apply to Dan. He's in a great position to open a preschool. I have to know to look for certain things. So if you're looking at those opportunities and you don't know what to look for, you've got to get connected, whether it's the Next Gen Academy or just a really smart group of people. You've got to get connected to know, how do I do these things, but do them right, do them well.
You know, one of the things is just being in the Facebook groups that we do provide,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of people talking about different things that they're doing in their gyms, just being aware of those and starting to like just, you know, the brainstorming, doing the research.
Yeah.
So Danielle talking about reading a newspaper, that's one of the research items that she does on a constant, is reading through and seeing what is going on in the community. Maybe the newspaper is not the best resource
Also,
for
I
you.
circled their grammatical errors.
But maybe it's not your the best resource for your area, but what are those resources and are you paying attention to them?
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to be in the know on what's going on in your community. And because there are opportunities that will arise.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're ready for them and you're looking for them, that's when people call you lucky.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you're so lucky. No, I'm in the know. Like, I
Smart.
pay attention.
Yeah. There's also, you know, if you're looking at starting a new program, there's kind of a process and a method that we teach in the Next Gen Academy. I will divulge some of it to you because we recently had this question at conference. You know, if you're looking at starting a program, you don't have to start an entire program to see if something works. If you're interested in starting dance, you're like, I want to start an all-star hip hop team. You don't have to do competitive teams and commit to those 6 kids all season long right from the get-go. You can offer a hip hop camp for a couple of days, 2 hours a day or something, and test it out and see how it works first. Offer a hip hop skills clinic, offer some, you know, technical classes and stuff like that, and just see what the interest is in your gym before you fully commit to starting major programs.
Or else you just sit back and you're like, oh no, those dance teams, those dance places in town, I'll never be in that little niche.
Right.
And then you just don't, but you never tried it. And so doing these small little trial things
Mm-hmm.
will give you an idea. As you're doing this brainstorming, you can kind of write out a plan like, hey, we're going to start with this. If that takes off, this is what we'll do.
Right.
And you can kind of get an idea of what it would form into, because you want to have a long-term plan on what that's going to look like if you actually are going to go down that road. And does it even make sense? At the end of the day, is it even profitable? Is it something that will expand and turn into a segment or an area within your gym that is good to even have?
Yeah.
And do you have space for it?
Also, maybe you're thinking dance, like, we'll never do dance. Well, do you offer preschool and toddler programming? Start with a 6-week session, see what the interest is. You're not committed forever to offer it if you only have 4 kids in it. You can offer it for 6 weeks. Sometimes it takes those 4 kids and you taking 1,000 pictures and posting how much fun they're having and their parents putting testimonials out there to help launch the next session. And that doesn't mean that I'm advocating for sessions in all of your programs. I'm simply saying you can start with sessions for a year and convert it over to a month-to-month class after you know that I will always have enough kids to make this profitable.
At the same time, some people are like, I would never do that. All I'm going to be is a feeder. I'm just going to feed the dance studios in town if I'm starting all this. That's
Sometimes.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I guarantee you that they're going to be feeding people to you because not everybody wants to be in dance. But the neat thing about this is if you do provide something, just using dance again, but if you do provide a preschool dance program or something, you're getting kids in your gym once again that have never been to your gym, and they're coming in and now they're seeing the tumbling and they're like, oh, guess what? I don't want to do cheer, but I'm going to go do dance, but I know where to go for tumbling because you have great tumbling.
Yeah.
And typically dance studios don't have the best tumbling. So
I actually talked to a gym last week who is really solid in levels 1 through 3, but they seem to get, when kids hit like level 4 and up, they seem to lose them to bigger, like mega gyms in their area. And I was honestly telling them, I'm like, yes, you can focus on your level 3s and turning them into level 4s. I've had a level 4 before. I get it. The pride inside of me and the fact that I want to keep those kids is a big motivating factor. At the same time, you can do other things like really focus on novice and prep programs, half year, full year novice, fundamentals, so that kids who were never going to join the sport can maybe join the sport through those lower commitment programs and make their way up. You can be the expert at novice, prep, and levels 1 through 3. And in some ways, you may slow down the process before those kids actually get to the mega gyms or get to the point where they want to. But in other ways, you might not even slow down. You might just pull in kids that never would have joined otherwise. If you were all focused on your level 4 and your level 3, turning them into level 4 versus the kids who are coming in who would never have done cheer. So many opportunities there to leverage new programs in your gym. And we have to be good at the things that we're currently doing. You shouldn't create new programs if you're not doing a good job at the current programs.
No, and that's vital.
Yeah.
Do really, really well. It's like a restaurant. Do really, really well at your staple. What items on the menu you do, that you do provide and people comment about the most. Get those down to a science and then test and scale.
Yep.
And don't be afraid to test stuff. Like, it's okay. It's okay if you try something in your gym and it doesn't work out. That doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you tried something and that's not cool. And it may be not cool right now. It may be cool later, but maybe it wasn't real cool right now. So don't be afraid to try things out, test it for a little while, and realize that it's, you only got 2 people to sign up and it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
What you found out was that was a waste of time, but you can move on to the next one. Maybe marketing was an issue. Maybe there's always different things that you can maneuver and change. Or
the way you ran it was not right.
Yeah.
We had rec cheer for years and we ran it as month-to-month classes.
Oh yeah.
And I think the most I was happy if I had 6 kids in that class. And I am telling you, we almost eliminated rec cheer altogether, but in my brain, it didn't make sense. How do I build the funnel to get these kids into my prep and elite programs if I don't even have a recreational option for it? And we said, okay, it's not working the way it is. What can we shift? What can we change? Ultimately, we decided to change to sessions somewhere between 6 and 10 weeks, depending on the time of year. I'm telling you, they're almost always sold out with 25 kids now. What was the difference? The simple fact that it's a session instead. And now we're able to take those kids, strategically put the session to end a week or 2 before tryouts begin, and then sell them on the full year or half year novice programs that we have. And so the way that you did something, if it is a failure at the moment, doesn't mean that it's a permanent failure. It means the way you ran it with that staff at that time in that circumstance didn't work. But how many factors need to be changed to figure out what works? Sometimes one.
I think this is a really good point to look at. You know, when we talk about, like, we did a fitness gym for parents in our gym and it didn't work out. Does every gym typically have a fitness gym for parents? No. We tried an abnormal thing and it didn't really work out for us. But in this case, a lot of gyms have these and they do really well, this particular field. So if it didn't work for you, it's probably because it wasn't orchestrated correctly. There was something off on it, and getting into the Facebook site and asking, like, hey, I'm trying it like this and it's not working out. What are you guys doing? What are other people doing with this to make it work in their gym? Like, get out there and ask, because there's something that you can modify and make it work. And this needs to work in your gym.
Yep. I don't give a hard plug for the Next Gen Academy all that often in here, but the free groups are really great for that stuff. What's better? Getting a coach who actually knows you, knows your gym, learns about your area, understands your unique circumstances, because not all gyms are the same. Not all gyms have the same challenges. And so getting a coach that you can work with one-on-one and not just asking a bunch of people in a Facebook group the question, that is the first step. That's a good option if that's all you can do at the moment. But as you level up your business, level up your expectations of yourself as well.
Yeah. The big thing on the academy is this. Can you build this gym and make it super efficient and do a really good job? Most likely. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't talk to very many people that I don't think are, like, in the wrong category. They should not be owning a cheer gym. You don't like kids. I don't run into those people very often. Yeah. Can they do it? Yes. Will it take them, 10 seasons to get there? I don't know. Maybe. Can you do it a lot faster if you have somebody literally telling you, hey, this is how we did it. Let's modify it. Let's put it in your gym. And they walk you through the steps of getting there because they're already at that point. Absolutely. Can you do it a lot faster? That's the question.
The facts are there. Yep. The data proves that you will do it faster with the Next Gen Academy with a mentor. And as the kids would say, trust. Okay.
I love the one word answers now. Trust.
Mom, my homework is done. Trust. And I'm like, I literally turned to her. I'm like, I don't trust you, so show me.
See, I'm from California and I can say dude and it means so many different things depending on how I say it. Now it's like, bruh.
Bruh.
And I'm like, oh, so what does that mean? That's like dude, but like dude. Like, that's a question.
Bruh.
Like, yeah. That was a question.
That's right. So guys, if this was your first episode of Fireside Chat, thank you for sticking with us. If you have watched all of them, thank you for watching or listening at this point. We're excited to be on here with you guys every week, and we do release new episodes on YouTube. If you want to look at these pretty faces, new episodes on YouTube every Monday, new episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts on Thursdays. Any more information on the Next Gen Academy that you might like, you can find by going to nextgenowners.com/book a call, or just honestly hit the button because it's less typing for you.
Yeah.
Hit the button that says book a call. Lastly, if you want to get any information, we've got a couple of upcoming conferences. Summer conference is huge.
Oh, man.
We would love to see you guys in either Orlando or Dallas this summer of 2025. And you can get that information on ngconferences.com.
And I know I say this every time we have a conference, but these upcoming conferences are going to be the best ones we've ever had. Like, honestly.
True.
Trust. They just keep getting better. Like, we have more people that want to be there, more sponsors, better vendors. Like, it is incredible. Like, over 7 years of doing this now, we have met some incredible people and continue to evolve. And it's just incredible now. All
right, guys. So with that, we will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Ciao.